And good morning. Now with more audio. How's everyone doing? We are going to be jumping into templates today after a brief step into what was it? Oh, durable objects, of course. Why isn't this changing? Oh, you know what? I was looking at this. Hey, good morning. I'm doing well, thank you. Doing well. We'll see how the network does. You see up there, we had a little drop earlier. We'll see. Hopefully it stays solid. Gonna find my browser again. Yeah, yeah, it had an issue. Let's fix that. Okay. Good evening. Yes, and good evening to you as well. Happy Friday. Tis Friday. I turned off my dark view on GitHub just so that I could see this graph. There's a number of different template engines here, right? Including just the standard write macro. And I was looking through these again because we have so little time um, on the workers. I wanted to get one that was fast, like really fast. And I thought, you know what? We're already using nightly Rust, so why don't we take a look at mod? Right? And if we look in here, goodness, this is. Can I make this bigger? No. I guess we have the data down below, but at like 240. Again, maybe a little bit. But it seems to top out. No, there it jumps. All right, but you can barely see some of these. The markup seems to be really, really fast. Terra, which I've used on the game server, is slow, but it's comfortable to use. Liquid, pretty slow. The dim theme makes graphs look sort of legible. Yeah, I tried it. It didn't work for me. I'll have to look again. But Sailfish is fast, and the markup is still pretty fast on the other side. So I thought we might try markup. I've never used markup before. Compile time, I don't know if they all are. Escoma, let's see. I know mod is. Markup is. They must be. We've used Escoma before, and I think that is. Uh, I thought you could reload Escoma. Yeah, I don't know some of these. Maybe I'm confusing Escoma and Terra, because we did use those about the same time. I think we moved away from Escoma and started using Terra because we didn't need the performance. Ram horns isn't listed, but it's experimental. Gotcha. But I thought it'd be interesting to look at not mod but markup. Oh, it's runtime, but comparable with Ascama's performance. Yeah, I don't think we have the need to make it runtime. I mean, it might be nice to be able to iterate over these things, but I think most of what we're going to be working towards is keeping it in the time ceiling that we have, because we might need to render a number of templates, and that's going to add up. So we have 10 milliseconds, and I think we have like 8 something left. So so the first thing we're going to do is try to add a little bit more to this. You know, I forgot to set today. Today we will. Oh, and I forgot to start Mitch. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the follow. One Millard. Thank you. So today we're going to clean up. What are we going to clean up? We're going to clean up. I don't know how. All right. So I have a couple things here. One of them was this. Like, why does it need to be an async function inside of an async function? We should be able to export some of these directly. Well, let's check out the numbers. Whoa. That, and I'm going to go back into my settings. Appearance. Let's go with dim. Loads and processes at runtime, which could be really, really nice. I mean, it would be great to be able to store these in, let's say, a KV entry, right? That would be nice. Touch of magic, the power of friendship, and the sparkle of FNV hashing. Oh, that's funny. But I could see using this. It would mean that we would have. Oh, that's a killer. Yeah, I like Ascoma too. Ramhorns is a GPL v3. I'm not walking into that. Looks so promising though. All right, that one's goner. It's too bad. It really is. What happened to our dark reader? I turned it off, didn't I? Okay. Escom is nice. Yes, it is. I've used Escoma, Terra, never used Mod. There's a couple others that we've used before. We might try markup. Okay. First things first, we've got something that works. Let's see. I'm going to move this. I don't want that. And these two should go away. We were comparing some outputs. Okay, those are gone. And then I see Criterion has a somewhat efficient template crate in it, but it doesn't do partials or anything like that. Huh. Efficient interpolation. Yeah, see, we should be able to use Cloudflare for the partials and assembling pieces together. And I want to rely on some of those tools that they give us for that because they have in their runtime API this HTML rewriter. So you can basically have a base document and provide um, stream handler, element handlers here. So based on a specific match, you give it a different piece of content. And I think that's probably going to be the best way to go so that you can have just little sections that you're rendering out using mod or whatever it is, using the Rust templating. You could store the base of the page, which could have been generated using templating, into cache. So we should be able to use cache as well. Reduce how many things we're generating over and over again. Reduce, which really the goal is going to be to reduce the number of KV lookups we're doing because we only get so many. Costs are going to increase by using KV more than cache. So we definitely want to favor cache over KV. We want to favor cache over durable objects, etc. Tiny template. Small, powerful, lightweight, simple. Yeah. Wondering about that as well. Um, because I think, I mean, this has hardly anything in terms of dependencies as well. And most of this is just going to be a compile time. I mean, this would mean that, well, one, the templates are baked into the binary, but that two, we don't have to manage the templates using a KV store. So I don't have to worry about having to deploy the binary and the KV elements at the same time. And that could be nice. Um, Markup is super light. Oh, yeah. I mean, really, it's just going to be generating HTML, just little bits of HTML, storing those in cache. Then we should be able to stream those together using the HTML rewriter. Because I think, given this cache object, so let's see. I don't think they have. See, I've been trying to find pricing for this. Like, what does it cost to make a request to this? And I don't see it. See, I don't know where that would be. Products, Cloudflare, pricing, developer services, worker pricing. Oh, that's right. That's not that's not any better. See if we look at their paid bits here. Yeah. Plans. See, I don't think these touch on cash at all. I think cash ends up being something that you pay for on the other side, like somehow, but it's not clear to me how. Okay. However, if we if we do lean on cash, that means most of the mutations need to happen, need to get tossed into cash. So anything that can be calculated ahead of time needs to be. Then we just store it in cash, and part of the worker's job is just going to be taking stuff out of cash and mutating as little as possible. So we should be able to put in there. Hmm. Oh, the sun's coming through the trees. I saw a light. It's like, what? Um, yeah, this should work all right. Cache APL limits. Oh, thank you. Max object size is 512 megs. Wow. And the storage limit is 5 gigs. That's a lot. It really is a lot. And cache is per data center? So cache isn't actually replicated around the world, not like the other bits, like KV and durable objects. Technically, durable objects aren't replicated. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know that when you have an instance of a durable object, that is the one instance that's called globally. Using the same code as fetch. Whoa, just 5 gigabytes total put per request? What? I thought 50 was the total max. I mean, maybe it is the max, but it's also the so you could fill it in one go. Durable objects. These here. Durable objects are an answer to being able to synchronize a data store. So think of it like transactions on top of their system. Whereas KV stores, the key value API, doesn't let you synchronize two requests coming through, but durable objects does. So KV, you could clobber writes. Durable objects shouldn't allow that. 50 calls per request, yeah. And that 50 calls cache is local. And it's before the CDN. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're actually using CDN. All right. So let's see. Can we clean this up a bit? We had this piece here, but given how the request handler is set up, I would like to be able to say export fetch as wasm.fetch handler. Oops. Oops. Exports.fetch. Write out the description of the service layer. Do they have a list of partners? And good morning. Good morning, Perkin. All right, let's see if this would work. Because if this works, then it simplifies this quite a bit more. Oh, interesting. Yeah, everyone that isn't Amazon. Wow. It's quite a bit. That's so funny. Let's say Google Cloud. Let's see. 1, 3. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I guess that's the other option, right? To be able to write to something like Google Cloud or Azure and use that as the origin servers. Wasabi. Interesting. Cost savings. What? 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 Okay. Why is it that if I choose wasabi, add additional? No, that's fine. Do they not have? Uh, just choosing some at random. I mean, it looks like if you choose any of these, there is no cost. Wow. That's surprising. That is surprising. I had no idea that they would do that. All right. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, Wrangler dev. And do a quick cleanup, and then we'll jump into durable objects. Listening. Uh, cannot use import statement outside of a module. Is that just because of this change? And why did it not build? We didn't see our normal build. That's just the JavaScript that changed. This was working yesterday. Said this change? I thought we actually published it after that change. Here. Just toss this on the production. That works. So that works there, but it doesn't work for local. Uh, development. Ah, there we go. Gotta use the right commands there. There we go. That is unfortunate. How do we fix this? Because I'm probably gonna step on that all the time. Can we look at no, not that. The Wrangler. Echo. It looks like you were trying to on a build pass on env. Missing field upload. Fine, fine. Um, what types do we need for this though? I mean, upload has format dir main. Format is modules. Node field build. Oh, main. There we go. I think I'm gonna take these up a bit. Because of there being so many sections in here, I want to make it clear that this is all one thing. Okay, let's see if that still works. Invalid type map expected a sequence. Oh, here. Oh, yes. For the rules. Okay, forget it. Leave those as separate. Development, staging, and production. It needs a little bit more. There we go. Gorgeous. Okay. Who knows the syntax for inline subtables for in Tamil? Well, you do. I don't. I don't. Um, actually, all right. Inline tables. It's a table of tables. Yeah, I don't know. Prioritizes humans. Oh, scroll down. Here we go. Strings, date and time, more spec, inline table, array of tables. Hmm. Good morning, JB. Yeah, I don't see. Is it just not possible? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's possible. Yeah. Oh, wait. You may also inline tables where appropriate. Are you sure this doesn't work? I mean, here it looks like it's valid. Where appropriate. This is probably one of those places where it's not appropriate. I think this will work. You're incorrect about being incorrect. Yes. Congratulations. You're right to begin with. Okay. So we got that cleaned up. Now back into the JavaScript index. I'm going to try this again. So I would like to have fewer layers. Missing field format. Really? Oh, here. Okay, it doesn't look like I butchered the other ones. Okay, so that does appear to work. Fantastic. Not the shim. Let's go back into the index. Oh, I like that. That is so much better. We can do a lot more in Rust then. Then we have to have this. Otherwise, the tree shaking on Webpack gets rid of everything inside of our WASM. And our emoji counter. We've got these here. I think, let's see. Do we have to declare that's the constructor? I think we do. Am I using WASM opt as a post build step? I don't think we are at the moment. Just WASM pack with its options. And we were able to get this down pretty low. So if we do a Wrangler build production. Oh, interesting. And this, we've got it down to 38K, which is pretty good. has knobs for configuring WASM opt. Yes. So inside of, where was that? Webpack config. Here at the bottom, we end up using this WASM pack plugin thing. And I think this here, this was copied from their example, describes it a little bit. Um, but yeah, you could toss in more bits here, but it already kind of detects that text detects the mode that you set for Webpack. And if you're in production, then it actually turns on the extra bells and whistles. Also in, where was it? Cargo.toml, we've included a number of these optimizations here. So it's got quite a bit. Let's see if we come back here. Why would this not work? What was our error? Export emoji counter imported as WASM was not found. Online 60, the OZ. Yeah. I saw that they have OS, which actually the difference I think is like 100 bytes. We were looking at this before. What is that? Yeah, that there. I think if you just have it set to true, it's fine. You can do with OS too, and then it'll still optimize for size, but not go as far as OZ. This seems to be size at all cost. Do you know if V8 optimizes WebAssembly, the execution of WebAssembly? OS is like op level 1, OZ is like op level 3. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so that line there, imported as WASM, was not found. Let's make sure that it's actually included. Yeah, it got bumped out. It has special interpreter bits for WASM. I see. I was wondering if it gets like faster over time. Spider monkey background, yeah. Gotcha, gotcha. Let's see. There we go. Associated static items are not allowed. Okay, let's go look at WASM by gen. Oh, it was in that list. Is this the right one? No, this is not the right one. WASM pack. Maybe. What am I trying to find? A blog that goes through some V8 stuff, but his blog is mostly focused on. Oh, Guile, new Guile. Day job is V8 though. Oh, that's cool. V8 is faster than GCC. Tale of two compilers. Wow. I'll toss this over here. Oh, here it is. The WASM bindgen guide. Okay. Constructor. Did we not get the WASM bindgen on the impl? Oh, nope. That needs to be there. Me does not live long enough. That's different. I wonder why. Borrowed value does not live long enough. Is it because of the async? Here. Yes. So something with this mutable reference to self, maybe? Hmm. Is it actually okay there? Okay, it must be the async bits here. I mean, it would be nice to have this as async. I guess technically we don't need this to be async the way it's set up. Okay, there's that. So now how do we use these? Let's go ahead and get rid of this element here. And we will look at the docs for durable objects. So from our other code, using the environment object for this, we can create an ID from a name. And this here can be anything. Yes, we've seen this. Construct the stub. And then pass the request in. Hmm. There was a different way you could get the ID. Let's open that in a different one. New unique ID. And you can pass the jurisdiction in. I remember that. IDs from names. IDs from strings. So if you had the hex string already, all right. So let's go back into our fetch handler. Where is that? Let's go into lib. Let's have another route. Oh, we do have one. We have emoji here. Doesn't mention async methods. Uh-oh. Using the async keyword on normal functions works fine. Yep. Me. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So return something the impulse feature. Accept self by value. Yeah. Oh, interesting. You can combine it with the ref cell. Huh. I see. Convert it to a promise first. All right. How do we favorite this? We'll star that. Yeah. All right. Now for getting our durable object. This get emoji. Actually, this whole thing needs to change because now we need the environment. And because of how we handle the environment, this has to be passed through all the way. So now let's change router, make sure that gets passed through all the way. And then we will also want that on these. Request environment. Okay. Oh. Oh, we open this Vim too far in. Okay. Yeah, into the router. Get our token stream, prefixed array, router matcher. the request, the environment. If everything passes through. Okay. This is just about prefixing the array. Route. Parse the route. Let's see, do we actually need the type on this? I think we might. You probably either have to take a box self or box up a feature. I see. That makes sense. Thank you for finding that. That's very helpful. I'm surprised they don't have a chapter on that. You know what? I'm second guessing this because I was hoping that this could end up being some simple router that could be used for, let's say, the HTTP crate or something else. Um, but if we pass through some other sort of mysterious object, I mean, it would just be some other sort of mysterious object. You wouldn't have to pass anything. But why do that? Why not just pass like a tuple here and then impl the trait that's needed for that? I mean, that might actually be preferred. And just have the environment as part of the request object. So bundle these two elements up. That way the router can be agnostic still. Because in Cloudflare, we end up implementing this request for that. And we could do this on that other type of object if we wanted. Mimeograph. Oh, you know what? I want to try something else. There's a struct. We'll call this a env request. Hey, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Henry. Or is it Henri? Is this French? Struct request. To make it generic over the JS object or unit as a default. I see. That would still mean that the router would. Because right now the router, as long as you implement, what is it? This trait, the request can be routed. So as long as you've done that, it can be anything. And here's the one for HTTP. And then let's try it. This would be a good test. Simple request for env request. So if we did that, all right. So if we did that, then we could bundle those two up. What? One day Gats will save us all. Associated type defaults are unstable. Right, let's go back into the router, undo what we did in here. Okay. Now it's just going to be that our types are wrong. It's not satisfied. Why not? Thought we satisfied that here. Oh, yeah, that is. Maybe it's this here. Let's fix this anyways. Okay. Then we have our error 404. How would I do that? env. All right. Oh, that's fine. We'll make that public. It's okay. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Actually, why are these public? Do they have to be public? Oh, it's because of the router here. I'm going to suggest an associate type with a default trait method. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to learn generics all over again when scats land, or learn traits all over again. Because there's going to be so much more you can do with it. Meeting's on a Friday. I think this works. Now I wanted to try out that other Rust Analyzer bit of magic here. Oh, let's see, can I extract this? Change visibility? No. Is it Visual Studio only? CSC update? That looks good. Okay. Let that load for a moment. Yeah, it doesn't look like we get the refactor into its own crate. Or into its own module. Oops. Let's see, this needs to go into mimeograph, source, env request. Oh, you have to do it on a mod statement. Oh, okay. So if we did mod like so. Oh, extract. Oh, I love it. Do it. Do it. Oh, no, it's not going to do it. It died. Why did it die? I mean, it's. Did it do it like halfway? Or did it screw up because I had that file there already? Okay, it doesn't exist. Extract module to file. Yes. It's hating me. Okay, I'm going to restart Vim. Okay. It doesn't exist yet. Extract module to file. I'm kind of bummed out. Um, yeah, it's not doing it for me. I think I'm up to date on CSC. Is it because there are other errors currently? Yeah, it's too bad. All right. Or I wonder if it's an issue with workspaces? No, it should be able to do that. Maybe we have source. That's suspect. They do have their own LSP, but I haven't switched over to it yet. Now return without recursing. Really? I think COC is just confused about this one. All right, let's see. Oh, recursive call side. This also agrees. Then why is it working? Oh, this is the wrong request. This is because we moved the file. This should be mimeograph. No, it should be CF. Okay. Good morning, get you, Pedro. How you doing? Mismatched types. Oh, yes, that is correct now. Oh, thank you. I like that this is automatically working with the build changes with dev. That's really nice. Okay, that should be it for that. What else do we have? How am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm glad it's Friday. Very glad it's Friday. This is your idea of generics plus type aliases. Let's take a look. Data. Python or Java. We are. Oh, what are we doing? Um, we're currently using Rust. Yeah, the Rust programming language. So we have a couple functions on here. User data. Ah, yes. And this would be the environment in one case or something else in another, right? Path method. Oh, thank you for the follow. Oh, it's all right. A lot of people don't know. And Rust is a very welcoming community. So, so here we have a request, right? Where we have the default there. This is interesting. In this case, it ends up being owned by the cow. This is something I'm not sure of. And I've seen you use this a lot, Museum. As long as you give the cow back, it's not mooching. But yeah, I was having an issue with um where was it? Okay, because of interacting with JavaScript, we have to get a string. Right? The request URL always returns a string. We can't just borrow a str. And because we own that here, we can't, well, this function owns it, this scope. We can't lend it out from this point. I would have preferred that this was like returning a slice or something else like that. You do string cow static str. That's cool. That's really cool. It works on a cow. Now, what would be the benefit of doing this conversion? Because I think most of the time, like from where this is going to be used, it's going to be sliced and diced. Like it's not going to be written to. It's just going to be kind of um, what was that? That was in router. We end up, yeah, we trim and then we split the parts. The lifetime is borrowed lifetime for the stir. Otherwise, it's static for the string. I see. So in this case, it doesn't actually seem like there would be much of a benefit, unfortunately, because we're only going to be calling the function once. Let your trait be less imposing. Oh, I see. If you don't need to allocate this, yes, because if somebody else, I see. That makes a ton of sense. So then, if we go back into parts here, in this case, we get a borrowed stir, and we could have a cow stir for this. Oh, I like that. That is really nice. Right. And then this would just be a into. Oh, and this technically, we could leave that or we could put it on that. Yeah, yeah. That is perfect. So I was struggling with that, and earlier I didn't have a way to reconcile this, and to just bringing him up to string was what I came up with. But having a cow there absolutely does, like it gives you so much flexibility there. That is such a great mechanism. Nice little tool there. Yeah, then we get the stir here into that. So now it's a cow. Oh, that's so nice. Good morning, Commander Thrashton. How are you? That's really nice. Now we can go back to EMV request. Do the same thing here. Because this returns a string. Toss that into there. Better than yesterday. Oh, well, it's trending in the right direction. Teach some Rust by example. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be a fun stream. I've been thinking about doing actual kind of streams like that too, as it really helps me reinforce what I've learned. You have an exercise you want to do. Which which exercise do you want to do? Actually, what's the API on cow look like? A lot of Googling or a mentor, yeah. It's nothing complicated. Oh, I see. So it's borrowed or owned. Into owned is borrowed is owned to mutable. Okay. Good morning, Codafan. How you doing? Well, hey Commander, why don't you direct message me with what you're thinking? And in this case, we'd be borrowed. Yeah, and this has to be. Let's see, this is a slice, right? Because we're basically subdividing the URL. Oh, it's been difficult to watch those streams with my internet. Yes, I'm sorry. Let's see, how is it doing today? I mean, it keeps getting better, but the video stopped. See, it actually caught up for me. So I can see it over there. And good morning, Nightshade dude. How you feeling? Happy Friday. I was actually considering using Stitch a bit more as well, just to smooth out those last few little bumps like that. I mean, even if it's only for a second or two, it would probably still help. All right, so at this point we have a slice. So this would be a cow. Oops. Owned. There we go. Work has been killing you? Oh, is it good work? Okay, that worked. But we don't have emoji wired up here. Actually, we don't use these requests most of the time. Okay. But we need to, in this case, just too much of it. Yeah. Do more with less. Okay, now back to here. So we need to get the env dot object namespace ID from name. It's gonna be something like this. Looks like Rust, but it's JavaScript there. But copy the JavaScript off the page and put it into this. We'll call you Bob. And then, Bob, we need to get the shim. Or the stub. Now this is going to be emoji counter, I believe. Now we can interact with the stub. And we can send a request to it and get a response. Yeah, it looks so similar. I mean, it's, like this line here, if it just had that at the end. And that does mix me up going between the languages. And in this case, I don't think we have to, let's say, stub dot fetch. Now we have to give it a request. We'll just pass our request through. I don't think our dot. And this is where we have to build up the response. So we have our transform streams. And it's something like this where we're able to get a readable and writable stream. And we set up some little async task. And inside of that async task, we would await our stub here and fill that in. So here, let's fill this in. Insert debate about await prefix or postfix. Oh, yes. Actually, I'm curious about this because I haven't looked up why they did it prefix or postfix. Postfix has a lot of logic and theory behind it and solves a lot of problems. Prefix is because C# did it first and everyone copied it. But it has a lot of problems with association and binding. I see. Because you don't know exactly which section of the expression you're actually awaiting on. For us, it boils down to await foo is ugly. Yes, I agree. I agree. And I actually like that Rust made it postfix. I would rather move the await around than move parentheses around. Got to come up with a better, I don't know. This here, it's going to be happening all the time. Need a nicer way to build this out. All right, so we have our readable stream, which should exist now. We want to be able to inject our the response from this in there. The emoji response has to be in there because we will await that. I want this to be async. I This is tough though because the stub fetch is a JavaScript object. So is this going to work? Now let's just get rid of this for a moment. Get it to compile. Oh, that's right. Um, that's actually an JS object, isn't it? Oh, interesting. So there was a lot of machinery already built up. Oh, that's neat. Adding a weight as another class of postfix keywords was very trivial. Yeah. All right. We need to come up with a better environment element there. Maybe this can be our other type. We parsed that, didn't we, in emoji counter? We have this map here. And we could end up, see, if we did something with this, then we would have this JS object. What I'm thinking is we extract out all of this logic into some sort of, conversion functionality into a from impl, basically. And at that point, we would still be getting a JS value out and not whatever this type is. So we need some way of being able to get that out. The TLDR, but still 200 plus comments. Wow. Scroll up a bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That's, yeah, it had where you were reading. How do we convert a JS value into a type that we care about? Let's create a CF env object. Let's go into CF struct CF env, and this is going to basically contain that hashed map. And this will have an env of a CF, CF env. I like that better. Gotta give it to the Rust community. They're always eager to outbike shed the last one. Oh, I love it. And they won't decide until the majority reaches a consensus. Since the backdooring of infiltrate, the arc position. Oh wow, following that debate was tedious. You've been following the Rust community for a long time. All right, so we want to create an impl from this to our env. Metoron released a 5-part blog explaining the apologies for that. 5-part blog. Oh no. Oh, no, we need that. Man, that must have been so stressful. That sucks. It really does. They invented new colors to paint the bike shed. Oh, I love that. That visual. Yeah, you're talking about the um when a function foo has like a bar impl into string or whatever it is, right? It's this here. My chat window's too short. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, versus that. All right, so if we had this and then we created an impl for this, and we could say, I don't know, well, function get, and you pass in some sort of stir. Okay. And we want some other sort of value too, some other sort of type. Because we want to make sure that's an option to a T. Either it doesn't exist or it can't be converted. And that maybe that's a result because we need the error type on that. Let's look. I'm more curious about how do we end up converting a JS value into a predictable type? Like in this case, we have to convert it into the stub for the durable object. And I don't think I've even created that here. Yeah, it's always faster to type. Yeah. Unless you get into a situation where you can't mix them. What was that? I thought there was a situation like that. All right. So, okay. So taking a JS value is going to be equal to, we need actually a self here. There's our value. And how do we convert this? This is a reference to a JS value. If you use argpause, then you can't mix them. Oh, you can't use turbofish, which is the main con against it. Oh, I see. A Voldemort type in the lexicon of obscurity. Oh, interesting. It breaks API contracts if when you change it. Oh, I see. Yeah. As JS says. So we've got a JS value, but we want to convert that into some other type. How do we do this? On the technical level, the two cons are can't turbofish, can't change it without breaking Simver. Yeah. Hmm. That makes sense. Why do we even need to have turbofish in it? Oh, it's fantastic. All right, here's all the types. Proxy. Oh, fun. Triator. All right, so we have a JS value. Wait, I thought I thought that came from there. JS value. Oh, that's from Wasm Bindgen. Oh. Spelling it down. Oh, interesting. Wonder, can we? Oh, and it's back. I don't know why it's doing that. Is he going to reboot on me? Probably not. Yeah, it's. I have no idea what it's doing. And it looks like we had a little bit of a rough patch earlier. Right here. Turn that off for a bit. Reflect. JSS reflect. Construct with a new target. Construct apply. Hmm. Accessing properties of untyped JS values. Hey, good morning, Tommy. How you doing? Interesting. It's here, this JS value. So we have a JS value, and that's basically a pointer into JavaScript land, right? So we have this index in a table owned by the WASM bindgen generated JS glue. Interesting. Oh, that's interesting. What's the O slash? Yep, they know. Deserialize. Oh, I see. But doesn't that go through um JSON? He's making a terminal-based social network. Oh, that is so funny. It's so funny, Tommy. Okay. So, yeah, I want to avoid the JSON parse bits. I really do. And we were able to avoid it earlier just by declaring that there are these foreign types, right? With the extern bits. I would love it if I could just say, like, give it this tag, whatever is actually happening here in this declaration, Because I imagine that all we've done here is given it some more information that it didn't have before. So if we could somehow associate them, okay. That chapter has an alternative for doing an internal representation through WASM types. Okay, let's try that. Which one are we in? I can't see the highlighting on the left. Serializing and deserializing arbitrary data into and from JS value with Serday. Send it to JavaScript with value from Serday into Serday. Usage in an alternative approach. The primary advantage is smaller code size, yay. It's not always compatible with the default JSON-based serialization. Performs more callbacks back and forth between JS and WASM. Interesting. OSIO. There we go. Oh, this one has coal. Oh, now you can actually see which one is selected. Oh, that's lovely. So when am I going to switch to BSD? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know. Does Godot run on the BSDs? Pretty sure it does. Oh, I'm not scared to jump. It's spending $3,000 that I am hesitant to do at the moment. Oh, that is nice. Yeah, the Mac. I don't know. I think it's. I always consider the Mac like a BSD with a pretty face. You know, like they got all the rough edges polished really really well. Well, let's take a look at this. What model of Mac do I have? I don't know. Let's see. It's a mid 2015, 16 gigs of RAM with a dedicated graphics card. All right, why? This library was created to address that and provide native Serday integration for WASM by Gem to directly convert values between JavaScript and Rust. Instead of passing data in JSON format, this allowed to support more types while producing much leaner WASM binary. Perfect. Saved 26K, well, almost 27. Hmm. Performance-wise, library is currently compatible with the original. Specific numbers vary. According to the benchmark, range from 1.6x regression in worst case to 3.3x improvement in the best case. Your mileage may vary. Huh, I see. It's a MacBook Pro, yeah. V8 has improved a lot since then. Oh, interesting, yeah. So, yeah, in terms of the box, I actually want more cores. Like, I'm not going to toss BSD on this machine. I'll get some sort of desktop for it. Oh, look at this one. Yep, not touching it, Tommy. Not touching this box. Mm-mm. I get a whole other box for that. This is pretty cool. Maybe for later. Well, this is cool. Okay, let's get this working then. I mean, this is really the big one. Are there any features on this? Hmm, okay. Yeah, we would need to have Saturday available for that. Interesting. Do we want Derive? Yeah, I've looked at the System 76 stuff, and they got some neat stuff over there. And for me right now, it isn't really like finding the hardware, all that. It's really, do I want to spend 3 grand right now? Because I don't know, things feel a little unstable for me. So I'm going to hold on to it for a bit. Good morning. You bet too high. I bet too high. What's your big O question? I'm sure somebody can answer that for you. Your situation's pretty stable and you still don't spend money? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I was able to save up a little bit more, then I might do it. But oh, lifetime parameter. That's really interesting. Yeah, deserialized owned. Deserialized owned is I'm going to use is static though, right? It's just like the other. And since it's a Dell Latitude, the Linux support is outstanding. Yeah. Is there no search on this? I thought they had a search. Interesting. Some weeks ago. Yeah. Deserialize. But it's how he gets around not having GATs. Oh, really? What? I'm going to build the docs real quick. Oh, it's DE and SAR. Thank you. Oh, interesting. I think we touched on this before. Oh, thank you for the follow. 9 13 14. Good morning. Okay. I mean, this is interesting because you have this lifetime specified here, and it's not actually part of the trait signature, right? You're declaring it here. Huh. You'll probably never buy a System 76 machine, by the way. Why is that? The markup? All right, and then at that point, we're going to convert this. Not there. Not that. Oh, no, no, I want that one. That comes over here. This is like tab 2. Must be tab 2. There we go. And then this guy, just whatever type. from JS value. But I mean, it's this going in the wrong direction because in our case with this, where is it? Get emoji. We end up getting the stub, right? Or rather, we want to be able to get this property off of this environment object. And then we need to call the get function. And can we declare that something is kind of a foreign type and deserialize to it? We can't, can we? As long as the Rust type implements deserialize. Yeah, here, let me stamp this out real quick. So if we said that we had something of type stub, or whatever the worker type is here, it's a client object used to send requests to our remote durable object. So we've got this thing called a stub. Do they have a type definition for this? You should be able to derive deserialize inside an extern block. Oh, interesting, but I'm not sure if it knows how to deserialize it though. So we basically need fetch and get. Well, this gets you the stub. Hey, good morning. Good morning. You buy a $3,000 machine from System 76, it costs you at least 4,000. Yeah. Because at that point, we would just have our see, we have two gets, right? Mm, that's on the namespace. So maybe we just call this namespace. Or like, because there's two different kinds of namespaces. There's a key value namespace and the durable object namespace. Let's just call it a namespace. We have public function get with this. And this returns a something. I'm going to call it a stub for now. Right. And then we need another one of these for a stub. And then a stub would have a fetch. Oops, what did I do there? Twitch doesn't want your few lines, your new lines. Oh, hey. Let's see. For I to A, do for N to B, do. Oh, it's hard to parse. Yeah, it's hard to parse. That's less of an issue. Yeah. Where they get matched? Okay. Durable ID get should be import durable ID. Oh, probably want to use WASM bindgen catch on them. Interesting. Oh, I haven't heard of that one. Well, it was in the docs. I just kind of brushed past it. It's funny. Oh, it just wraps a JS try catch with a Rust result. Oh, so I guess we could say that. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what? I got this all wrong. Look at this. We can actually give these all types. So here, this is our entry point, right? And we could say this is whatever type we want. So we could say this is a CF env object, right? And then we just stamp out the types for it. And then we don't have to worry about any of the serialization bits. So if we go back into CF here, where's env struct? Let's comment this out for a moment. Yeah, you should paste that somewhere else in like a paste bin or GitHub gist. All right, so let's do this where we have WASM bindgen. Then we have extern C. Hub type. I'm going to call this env because I don't think they actually have to match up. We just have to declare this. And then we're going to have what on that. And because we have this env object, streams, responses, requests. They don't have the documentation for the new stuff. Platform. Worker sites learning. Was it in here? Fetch event lifecycle, maybe? Three inner loops. Hmm. They don't have the new. They've got a little bit here. I bet you I. Thank you for the follow. Now here's an interesting, I don't know, interesting to me question. Who, on a regular basis, has to worry about big O notation, right? I find that big O notation works at a really, really high, like a very large level, but big O can often be obliterated by CPU architecture, etc. Yeah, CS students. Yeah, because you'll have some like your quadratic example there, depending on the CPU, it might actually be faster than something that has, big ON or like a linear time. So, yeah, it has so much more impact. Yeah. CPU cache for data locality. Is it available on your machine? Is it available on the local network? And yeah, it's it can be frustrating sometimes to like get grilled on big O notation and then yes, and then have it never matter. I mean, it matters sometimes. All right, so we have this object, and let's just create a type for this. For what we are doing, it's passed in here. We're going to pass it through. So it's going to sit on our object. So where's our request, env request? So it's no longer that. This is cf env. Okay. So that'll pass through. And then here on emoji, this is where they use the reflect, isn't it? Can we impl something on a remote type? Because we can't get the property. We can't get that property. I mean, we could know that it exists and just declare that it exists. And in terms of making this work, that's not a bad idea, right? Because then we get the type definitions here, and somebody doesn't just arbitrarily misname this when they go to look it up. So if we had something wasn't bind gen, then we had a getter, then we had a JS name is oh hold on, let's go back. Come on, Vim. What are we calling it? Emoji counter? And that this actually wouldn't be that bad of a thing to do. Actually, it's growing on me. Club function emoji counter. And that would end up returning what? Something. Compilers are weird and don't do what you tell them to do. Yes. Well, the compiler and the programmer have different concerns. Different concerns. Not that one's smarter than the other. Rossi LLVM will absolutely vectorize that loop plus three inner loops, assuming homogeneous access if it can be determined side effect. If it can determine side effects, which may or may not be faster. Oh, is that thing back on? Did I? I must have turned that thing back on. I don't know what's going on with that. But the network, the router or something is a little off. I wonder if it's because I reload that so often and then the software on the actual hardware it's like, no, I don't like this. Please stop. Let's see, it looks like the machine's been up for a while. It's gotta Oh, they upgraded the app. They got a big factory reset button. I don't want to do that. Let's go to advanced again. How long have these been up? One case, the dish, 540,000 seconds. Wow. But yeah, the router might need a reboot. I'll do that later though. Here, let's transition that. Oh, and my camera's gone. Did I turn I turned the wrong thing off. There we go. All right, so we're gonna have this set up like so, and then we should be able to avoid the serialization and everything. Oh, what's wrong here? Oh, yeah, for unit, fine. But what are we going to return there? Because once we get the emoji counter, hold on, this here, we get a stub, right? So this actually needs new unique ID. It needs these elements. And those are just IDs. Are these all strings that they return? No, this is something else. This is like some other ID. It's not a string. Use toString on the ID. Okay, so we need some other sort of ID object. They don't have LSP 3.6 yet, which is where the file system stuff was added. Oh, I see. No, I'm not using NVIM native LSP. I'm using COC. That's a homophone for you. All right, so this should return an ID. Do we want to call that an ID? All right, so that returns an ID. And then an ID can have a number of functions. What are those functions? It can have new unique ID. What else? Oh, that can be called in two different ways. One with a jurisdiction, which we don't have to be concerned about. Not right now. ID from name. What else? ID from string. Okay. And then also get, which gets the object stub, and that receives. Okay. Oh, no, that should have been on E and V, shouldn't it? Okay, this is wrong. When we get the emoji counter, that's just a getter to that property. And this needs to be, this here, I think is a namespace. Let's call it a namespace. Just for a moment. Let's bump that up here. The way Wasmbajan misuses external blocks is bugging you? Well, it was either that or like put it all in one giant block. And that's how I started. I didn't like that. But yeah, I see what you say. They should do something else here. Okay, so that returns. Oh, yes. And these here. This returns an ID. And most of these return an ID. And then this one. This takes an ID. And it returns something else. A stub. Oh, get is defined multiple times. It is. That one's wrong. Okay. Morning, Togglebit. Good evening, Togglebit. How's that hot tub coming? I got the ducks. Okay, so we should be able to get that then. So we'll get the emoji counter. That'll get us the namespace. The namespace has these on it. ID also needs a pub function to string. And technically, that's a JS string. Still filling it up, huh? We have this great business idea. We're going to have a hot tub and ducks, and you'll be able to feed the ducks with bits on a stream. We're going to split the profits, but we're going to have the ducks in the hot tub with an auto feeder. Multiple camera angles. It'll be in the woods somewhere. All right, so then we have that two string. This needs, let's see. We have to do this on each one of these, don't we? Now those are technically, this should be jazz name equals that. Let's finish these. Then we'll have that name correct, the Rust name correct. But if the hot tub was too hot, the ducks passes. Duck sous vide. Scala 3 is out. Oh, interesting. Never touched Scala. Do you use Scala? I think it was two string, wasn't it? And maybe we want a JS string on that one because we're going to be giving it right back. Oh, that's bright. Cool. That didn't work very well. There we go. You're a fan of Scala? Let's make this a JS string. Oh, is that the right type? Looks like, well, it's happy. Okay, so then we have our IDs. We've got our stub. We can fetch. Okay, so let's go back into lib with our emoji counter. Emoji counter. What? Emoji counter. Let's see, it doesn't have that, right? This says it's an env on an env request. Here's env. Looks like it's there. Oh, why is this method emoji counter not found for this? I mean, this looks about right though. What am I missing? JS name, emoji counter. I mean, that spelled right. Those match. Did it just not get saved? Ah, I get our method. We're missing method. Yes. And these other things, they need to have method as well. Okay. Just checking them as we go down, making sure they're all there. Method getter. There we go. Now these. Method. Now that Dotty has been proven, hopefully some of the dot fanciness will be used inspired for how GATs will come along. Now, what do you mean by Dotty? I'm not familiar with Dotty. Is it a crate? No, that's something else. Oh, dependent object types. Okay. Yeah, Dotty is a reference compiler for the dot paper, which became the compiler for Scala 3. Oh, oh, I see. ID from name. Oh, here. So we get Bob. That's right. It needs an argument. No unique ID. I don't think that takes anything. ID from string and from name. What is the difference in these? And thank you for the follow, rdung16. Thank you. Here, where are those functions again? Here. So that takes a string from name. That's also a string. Okay. String, string. And this is a durable object ID. Oh, that's a better name for that. Let's call it a durable object ID. I don't know. You know, this is probably stir. So in this case, this is going to be a durable object namespace. And a durable object namespace will then have these other elements. And then the IDs here are durable object IDs. Interesting. Did we already have that in here? ToString. Oh, we do. Durable object state. ID and storage. Okay. So we can remove this one here. Still a fan of their perseverance and lack of stability promises. It's an anti-rust. Because ironically, before Rust went stable, it changed itself weekly and eventually led to simplicity. Huh. All right, so we have our durable object IDs, durable object namespace. Okay, and what type is this? It's an ID of unknown type. Fine. And this is a durable object stub or something else. Does something else have fetch on it? Okay. Some of these we might be able to combine if key value stubs are the same way. We might just duplicate it or call it the same thing. I don't know. All right, but this does need a request. And that should be the request up here. Yes. And then we get something back from that. Now, we get a response from that. I mean, is that literally a response or the fetch method of a stub has the exact same signature as global fetch? Okay, same signature. Oh, it returns a promise of a response. And I don't think we can have that extra type there. Yeah. And thank you for the follow, MB controller. How are you? Happy Friday, everyone. Okay. What time is it? We got time. I think. Let me check my calendar. Well, given that, we can get rid of. Goodness. I'm not willing to delete that yet. I'm going to hold on to it. Um, this isn't a bad way to codify what objects you have defined in the environment. This is really nice. I like that. Yeah. Promise is not a future. Yes, so we have to convert that into a future. And how do we do that again? There was a let's open our local docs. Future to promise. There's promise. So a JS future from a promise. Okay. But how do we get the value out? It implements future. Output is a result of a JS value. Hmm. And at that point, we are stuck trying to figure out those pieces. If we need to actually use them, you can await it. Yeah, the problem is then we're back to JS value, which I'm trying to avoid. Hmm. JS cast has type done into. Oh, interesting. Into the target type. Well, that might not be so bad. Okay. And there was a JS promise, right? From that, then we await that, and we get the emoji response. Or TS JS cast. Oh, I see. Yeah, that'd be neat if they actually did that, but oh, yeah, I don't know if they do. What's the docs over there? Is this accessing classes using JSCast? Duck type interface. On the trade itself. Yeah. Yeah. Defining a duck typed interface in Rust. Note that any attempts to check if an object is a Quax with JSCast is instance of will fail because there is no JS class named Quax. Oh, I see. Okay. Next, we can export a function that takes any object that quacks. Huh. There was one more in here. Callbacks are, let's see, most of the types specified in the WebIDL have relatively straightforward translations into WebSys, but it's worth calling out a few in particular. Buffer source and array buffer view. These two types show up in a number of APIs. Fine, let's skip this. Callbacks are all represented as JS function. This means that all callbacks going through WebSys are a raw JS value. You can work with this by either juggling actual JS function instances, or you can create a closure dyne mutable function, extract underlying JS values with asref, and then use JSCast unchecked ref to convert it to a JSys function. Let's see. Now let's try it. Oh, I see. Dot request. Wait, I didn't even look at the error. What did it say? I want to rename this value. There we go. JS promise. Where is JS promise? Oh, JS is promise. No JS. There we go. What next? What next? We want JS future. Oh, interesting. It wants. Just move that in there. I see, because we only have a reference to it. We could pull this out. Because this is. Yeah, I'm not actually doing anything with this. Um, but I would like to have this encode actually be inside of it. Because we end up with these futures, right? We're not actually waiting for these futures. Yeah, what's going on here? We have a writer, got a readable stream, a writable stream. We have a new text encoder. These elements here, GS future from. It's like we want to move all of this inside. Because the response needs to be this readable stream. Right? So we take the writable stream and everything else inside of there. We get the response here from our emoji response object. And that's a JS value. I think we don't need this Saturday wasn't Bindgen anymore, which is too bad. Just looking forward to using that. So let's bring that one back up, but we're going to check to see if we could do unchecked from JS. What does this do? As ref JS value, okay. We're not going to be able to call instance of on these. Actually, we might be able to, as long as the type names are correct. Let's try dine into. And this type here needs to be CF response. Actually, it's going to be a result, isn't it? So we were looking through the durable object bits. We need to do the fetch. Fetch here gives us, or is it a promise to a response? Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you for the follow. DNMS9. Uh-oh. Mitch. There it goes. Sometimes it gets stuck on the last frame. we'll, we'll get around to that someday. Um, no method name dine into found for this. So it knows what fetch is trying to return? I mean, it doesn't seem to suggest it knows all that much. But if we go back to CF and we look at fetch, that returns a promise. No info. Okay, so when we await on the promise, so that must be a property of the promise. No, the future. JS future. And when we await on this, we have JS value, JS value. Okay. I don't know what the error could be here. I don't know what error that's going to be. Expect a response, have result. What? Okay. I feel like I'm like one layer off here. That this doesn't feel right. Um, let's see. We'll return error self if if it returns false. Otherwise, it returns OKT. Okay, so we don't know what the type is in some cases. All right, just unwrapping that a little bit further because I don't really want to deal with the possibility that it doesn't exist. It must be a response. All right. What are we building? We are building a serverless website builder. We're doing this on top of Cloudflare's Edge network with their WASM workers, their key value store, cache, and durable objects. At the moment, we're trying to wire up some durable objects. We had to add some types for env. Let's see, expected struct env, found struct object. That's on, interesting. That's on line 20, an emoji counter. Ah, yes, this is not correct anymore. Ooh, what is it then? No, no, it is. It's CF env. That is correct. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, compiled. Let's see, how much further can we go with this? Is it not listening? It must still be listening. Okay. Let's reload. Okay, good. Blank is page not found. That's fine. What do we call it? Emoji? I don't remember what we called it. Let's do it again. Which language are we writing? We're writing in Rust and occasionally JavaScript. Very little JavaScript though. We're trying to keep it heavy on the Rust side. We have to compile our Rust code into WASM. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to include get emoji in our router. Go figure. There we go. Oops, let's just run it. Emoji error. It threw an exception. Cannot read property ID from name. Of undefined. Oh, look at that. WASM function. We're getting stack traces. When did that happen? Crazy. Okay. Now read property ID from name of undefined. And this, it says it's on index line 469, but I think we only call this in one place. This is going to be in here, in our lib, in our emoji, get emoji function. ID from name, right? ID from name. So it's here. It's saying that this was called on undefined. So emoji counter didn't return anything. Did I not set up the Wrangler bits for this? We have our classes. This is emoji counter. Class name is emoji counter. And this is what we look up on the environment object. So if we go back to their examples, we get the environment, say env.className. Yeah. Rust compiling to WASM and a little JavaScript. Works on my machine. That's right. ID from name. So it's saying that our environment setup was wrong. So this getter, let's see, we have this type env. Env, we put emoji counter on it. We said that this is a getter. Fine. We have a method, getter. I think everywhere we do a getter, we have method, yes. And then we give it a JS name, which is emoji counter. And that should be the same as in here. Emoji counter. Same thing. Oh, yes, there it is. Look at that. It's an array of inline tables. Oh, that's funny. So I wonder why I can't find it. Is it that The environment variable doesn't have it? Maybe we could debug that. Actually, we could do that in JS. You know what? Wasm fetch handler. We're going to invoke that. Oh, come on, fingers. Oh, good morning. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Code Spent. How you doing? How's your stream? We were code sent here. And good morning, good day to you. We are working on, we're using Rust, although you can see some JavaScript on screen right now. Um, we're compiling Rust to WASM, and then using the WASM inside of Cloudflare workers. And our goal is to build a serverless website builder using Cloudflare workers. Trying to bootstrap the React Native app on M1 tablet. Oh, cool. Very cool. On an M1, yeah. Sorry, I said tablet. I didn't mean tablet. Very cool. Lots of red stack trace reading. Yes. Okay, let's rebuild it. It should have picked up that change. I wonder why it didn't. Does it not do that if I change the JavaScript? Hmm. Oh, it says that that is actually undefined. Where is it? There it is. Interesting. So we get undefined here, even though it should exist. Let's make sure it's registered. Publish. Help. Or is it build? No, it's publish. New class. So we have to give it the environment. Dash dash env development. New class. We'll give it the class name. Does it want the full upperclass one? Uppercase? Hopefully not. Emoji counter. So we register that with Cloudflare. Okay. Now, if we run this in the dev environment, hopefully we get that environment variable passed in now. Still undefined. Okay, what else do we have on that? Just dump everything. I know an object. So it is an object. There's something there. It's a special Cloudflare type for var. So we're going to have env. Let's dump out the keys first. Oh, is it? Oh, it panicked. Error, panic. Okay. Why would it panic? Oh, I'm not seeing anything. We just have, it should have been right in here, that logging. So is it possible that we don't have any values on the key, on the environment? Last attempt. JSON env. Here we go. I'm going to try not recompiling that. I don't see the console log. Yeah, just empty object. Or at least that's what it serializes to. That doesn't seem right. That really doesn't seem right. We should have more there. According to the documentation, we should get some sort of environment object. Derive an object ID from the URL path. Example class is the durable object binding that we will show how to configure in the next section. Okay. Uploading a durable object worker. Generate, find, publish new class counter. Configuring the bindings. We do not need to give it a script name. Publishing durable object classes. Oh, thank you. This is Pretzel Rocks, their chill EDM channel. All right. At this point, we're done. If you copy the durable object example and fetch handler code from the above into a generated Wrangler project, publish it using new class migration, and make a request to it, you'll see that your request was stored in a durable object. Can I list them? Yeah, you probably heard of Mini Halsey. They're running around here. Ruined Summer Studios. Thank you for the follow. Actually, I don't know where he is. Oh, he's playing with his brother. Serverless website builder. Think, I don't know, like, what is it? Kix? QIX? Compiling to WASM, having that sit on top of Cloudflare workers. I've got these objects here, but we're just not getting the right value passed in. It's either, I don't know, like, how do we tell what type it is? Oh, we could do like a type of. And that's not going to give us very much. It's probably going to give us the exact same thing that it was telling us before. Web development, it's mostly server side web development. So a lot of Rust. Yeah, we just get object for the type, and it was an unknown object. Otherwise, huh, this is strange. What if we tried env dot emoji counter? What if we do that there? Is that something? Do they have some sort of magic going on in their implementation? Some sort of magic that doesn't propagate through? I mean, they might be using proxies or something like that, in which might confuse the WASM bindgen. No, still bogus. And it's undefined. So we're just not even getting that value that we expect. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back and do our is it plugged in checks. This is for the durable object itself. Okay, using durable objects. Right, it's in beta. We're signed up for the beta. We've got it enabled. I wonder if there's anything in here. Yep, we are enabled. Beta limitations. It's fine. Not intended for production data. It's all right. Gannett, good morning and happy Friday. Thank you for the follow. So we've got that set up. We are currently using, more or less, this. Let's see, we've got triggers, we've got settings. I don't see here we have environment variables, KV namespace bindings, usage model. Oh, we're currently unbound, huh? Interesting. See, I thought we should be on this side, the pricing details. I'll take a look at that later. How ironic. None of my code is intended for production data. See, I'm not seeing any cron triggers, and maybe, just maybe, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. Do we need durable objects specified per environment? We might, because this is kind of like the default level. That's right. Test on real people. I'm guessing it's this, that this isn't associated with an environment. So we're using some sort of default. I'll check something. Triple objects is specified there. Um, is it in here? No. I saw a better example. I think it was his. Come on, I want to go to your stuff. Oh, it's a nice picture. Okay, here. See, this is different. That's terrifying. No. Oh, be kind. Um, because if that's not it, then we have to go back to Cloudflare. So I know I saw one, but I don't remember the syntax for it. Cloudflare. See, they're all using like the default environment. Yeah. Oh, you're not saying that's terrifying when we pulled up the guy's photo. Oh, thank. Okay, I'm sorry. I was out of context. That's funny though. Software with 15 to 16-year-old Perl code. You're not that cruel. The timing, it was about 30% less cruel. You wouldn't say it out loud. That's what you're saying. All right. All right, let's do the same thing here where we have env dot development dot durable objects and see if we get it with that. I suspect that we need the same sort of thing for each one of these sections. So the one I saw even had like object IDs in it. All right. What? It worked. Lies. Oh, it's an object now. Okay, so that was it. Is it plugged in checked? That saved us. We had to have it for the right environment. Wow. Let's go back into the JavaScript. It was a great photo, yeah. It's very happy in the photo. It's a good photo. Nice smile. All right. Always has been. Yeah. So this emoji counter was not defined before. So you have to have those defined in order to see them. They have to be defined in each environment. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that. So I'm gonna leave this here. This is very useful for debugging. Um, what? There we go. Coming back into here. So all of this actually worked. This worked. We don't know what came back from the CF response. It's supposed to be a response. I don't know if it has to be a response. All right. I don't know what to call this. Call it blarg. Emoji response dot body, because this is a CF response. Let's see what do we have on here. Oh, I only put the setters on there because I only needed to create them. Let's look at the docs and add the body because I want to take that apart. Request response properties body is a readable stream. Okay. Let's add a getter. Oh, the function body, bofd body. This is response. And that returns a stream. Readable stream. That one. Okay, now we should be able to get body off of that. In fact, if that's a readable stream, can we set this up without the spawn local? Because we have a transform stream here. So we should be able to write to this in multiple places. So first we write this. We get the writer. Can I just write the response body to it? What does our writer have? We can write a uint8 array. But I think that in their API, if we look at the streams, this one, we can write just about anything. It writes a chunk of data. That's actually, they've just implemented it, but it's actually in the spec. And we could use a text encoder for this, but we're getting a readable stream back. Oh, interesting. A readable stream has a pipe too. So we could actually pass the writable stream into this one. That's a great, great thing. What are the pipe options? Prevent close. Prevent abort. When true, errors in the source readable stream will no longer abort the destination writable stream. Fancy. Okay, so we will use pipe 2. And that needs to be a writable stream. I don't think I have that set up for readable stream. Yeah, it's just defined there. So let's fill that in. Function pipe 2 takes this readable stream, destination, and options. Options are optional, aren't they? All right, the destination is going to be a writable stream. Now, I think we actually have to have it be this type. And then our options are going to be pipe 2 options, which we have to define elsewhere. And this returns a promise. Okay, now we've got a little one of these here at the bottom. Obstruct, pipe 2 options. It's got a couple properties. The first one, prevent close. It's a Boolean. Prevent close. I want that read only from JavaScript. JS name is going to be equal to prevent close. There we go. That's the first one. Oops. Close the parens. Try again. Attempt 2. Good. And prevent abort. All right. Only got a couple minutes left. Expected non-macro attribute. Let's impl default for this. What should the default be? False for both. We'll have to see. I don't know. Okay, then we have pipe 2 options. Takes a writable stream. Good. So coming back to lib, we've got our body here. We can say blarg dot pipe 2. That's the wrong pipe 2. Pipe 2. That's better. We want the writer there. With pipe 2 options, to default on that. That returns a promise. We do not need to do any more of the text encoding, any of this.
Well, this is grandma. It's Grand and grandma.
Are you guys writing grandma a letter?
Yeah.
They're writing grandma a letter today. Okay, so we've got piped. We don't really want. We want to know when it's done. Just future from that. We'll await. I don't think we have to do anything on that because it's a void promise. It'd be nice to be able to capture that somewhere, but I don't think we can. That would be nice. What's it whining about? Anything?
Currently.
Oh, yes. Looks like it's going to compile. Let's give it a go. All right. Okay, we got that listening. I'm expecting this to blow up, but it's. Oh, there we go. Failed to execute pipe 2 on readable stream. Parameter 1 is not of type writable stream. It's not? Okay. I wasn't expecting that error, though. Get emoji. Because we got the writer. We created this stream. We have a writable stream. Oh, do we just... It's a writable stream, then. Okay, we didn't need to get the writer. Oh. Okay. So that one's... CF. Writable stream. Okay, that built. Let's run it. Emoji count 2. Oh, 3. It's working. Yes. Okay. 4, 5. Now we don't actually interact with the storage bits yet. We'll get there. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. And what's the timing on this? 305 milliseconds. This is doing a lot. Let's get this published. It's going straight to production. I want to see what the size is going to be for this. Oh, shoot. That's not going to work. Sorry. It says it worked. I don't believe it. We need Wrangler because we did not include durable objects for staging or production. Okay. That's why we go straight to production with these things. We want to make sure. Yeah, there we go. Where do we create our oh, it's not in that stack? Is it in this one? There we go, production. So we have to create, well, we have to register the durable object with the environment, and then we can publish to it. Good. And let's see, page not found. If we go to emoji, got emoji count of 1, 2, 3. Now I'm on 3. Can somebody go to this URL? Then once somebody has gone to that, I should be able to reload the URL and see the number increment, or having gone past a couple numbers. So here we'll reload. 5. So we skipped 4. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Anonymous. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, lovely. Okay. Perfect. We're going to find a raid target. Some French Rust stuff. What are they doing? French dev who loves Japan and sport. Let's see. That looked like French. Oh, I miss learning French. All right, y'all. I don't know. Um, I don't think the English to French thing is going to work. But do you guys have a better option? Oh, Classy Cat. All right. I develop things. We haven't. I'm not familiar with this one. What are they doing today? 24-hour QR code. We got a little ad going on. That's great. Oh, hold on a sec. All right. Sorry, my wife is leaving. What do we got here? This looks like JavaScript. So now we'll rate them. Unless you're going to start up music. Haven't been able to rate you for a while. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, y'all. And thanks for hanging out. I love having the company while we do this. So I'll give them a raid. Oh, look, we're coming up on the end of the 24-hour stream. Oh, fancy. So, till next time, y'all. Bye bye.